Hey everybody, welcome to Forrest Reviews. I'm Forrest and I'm reviewing Captain America Civil War. Oh my god, this movie was so great. I loved every minute of it. There was so many cool action scenes, so many fights, so many characters, and it all paid off. It all worked. And I'm surprised. No, this does not really happen at all in any superhero movies or really any movie. There's oh my god. Okay, I should probably start from the beginning, but there's going to be spoilers in this review. But you should definitely go see it if of course, see the first, see all the Iron Man and Captain America movies and the Avengers movies, because you're going to be lost if you haven't seen any of these movies. You definitely kind of got to do a little homework on there. But otherwise, if you have, definitely go see it. So anyway, Captain America Civil War. It begins kind of like with all you see all the Avengers, from Age of Ultron. They're all, they're trying to get Crossbones from Winter Soldier. He's got all these guys. When in the little of that at the end of the fight, Scarlet he's about to blow himself up, but Scarlet Witch comes in and tries to stop it, the blast from killing a bunch of people. But unfortunately, she loses control out of it. She loses control of her powers, and that causes a mass hysteria, in which case the government creates this law down the Sokovia Accords, where you have to register with the government, so that way they'll know all their names and everything. So they'll know who to call. And at first, and Iron Man, he at the same time he's having doubts about himself lately. He's the one that created Ultron. He hasn't had the best track record, and he feels really guilty. And Pepper has pretty much is out of his life. He's gone. He just really seems guilt ridden. And his parents are dead. He clearly has issues that he just can't seem to grasp, and so he gets behind the Sokovia Accords, so he can. It's sort of like a redemption, he can sort of say sorry to the world. And unfortunately, Cap disagrees. He's not the guy that he doesn't want to do this. He feels it's wrong that we'd be sending out on missions that would be wrong, or could be wrong, or if they can't go to a certain place when they need to go. It's yeah, I definitely agree. You need, do you really want the government telling you which way you want to go, or where missions you have to go? Because I wouldn't. But anyway, so at first it seems it's more voluntary. No one really has to do it at first, or not being forced to quite yet. But unfortunately, while this is going on, Bucky is framed. He's the Winter Soldier. He's being framed by another character we'll get into in a minute. And basically, this character shot or destroyed this whole building with all these government officials. And T'Challa, one of these guys, the son of this guy, this guy from Wakanda, he shows up. He's really pissed. He wants to find Bucky. Because he believes he killed him. And while that's happening, more and more it's people are getting behind the Sokovia Accords, saying we need to sign this. And Cap still is while Cap is trying to get Bucky and they get captured, and all of a sudden it's he's being forced to. And so after a while you're thinking, well, gee, this isn't gonna end well, is it? So basically Bucky is put under mind control. They get captured and Bucky gets put under mind control. And so it's insane. He becomes a different person. He tries to kill everybody in that building. And so Cap follows him and tracks him down, tries to get him back to normal. Eventually he does sort of eventually get back to him. But unfortunately, he knows what he's done, and he knows he's done bad things, and he's like, he'd rather probably just give himself up or die than, have to keep going through this. And unfortunately, more, like, they're getting pushed more and more. And Bucky and Cap, they need to get out of there, so they go. And this is probably the biggest scene that happens. So the teams will start forming. We got Iron Man, War Machine, Vision, Black Widow, Black Panther. They all come together. And Tony Stark actually recruits probably one of the best characters in the movie, Spider-Man. And my God, this is the best version of Spider-Man, who we'll get to in a second. He was so... But meanwhile, you have Cap, who's got... he's got the Winter Soldier, he's got Ant-Man, he's got Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch. They're all, it's a pretty, almost even. The Vision is still probably the most powerful member on the team, but still, it's probably one of the most amazing fights happens. You see them all go toe to toe, and you don't really know which way this is gonna go. Eventually they Cap and Bucky make it out, but not without Vision trying to stop them. But unfortunately, Falcon stops or tries to stop Iron Man, and instead Vision, but he drops the last second before he can shoot him. So instead, War Machine gets shot. He almost dies. He gets paralyzed, and so all the other members of Cap's team get put in prison. And so Iron Man goes ahead and tries to find out where did the Cap and Bucky get to, and they found this one area, this frozen place, where all these other Winter Soldiers that were created at one point. And so instead, he finds out where that is, and he finds those guys, and they have kind of like a truce at first. And you're thinking, well, they're going to have to fight all these Winter Soldiers. But no, they're all dead. So you're thinking, oh, okay. But then this guy, Baron Zemo, who orchestrated everything, he admits he set everything up. And now that he shows a video of Tony's parents getting shot or getting destroyed in this car accident. And he like brutally killing his mom, and that sets Tony right the hell off. And he's like, ah! And so there's probably the most brutal beatdown, like the angriest I've ever seen Iron Man ever get. It's, oh my God, it's so fucking intense. But man, it's such a freaking great fight. Oh man, I love that fight. And so it keeps getting so brutal and beating. Eventually, Cap and Bucky finally are able to subdue him. It seems like Cap might actually kill Tony, but he stops himself and then he's about to leave with Bucky when Tony says, "Hey, that's not your shield," and so he drops it and he lets him have it. And so at the end, all the other Avengers on Cap's side are pretty much in prison, and Black Widow's on the run for helping Cap, and so it's very bleak. But at the end, he still gives him like this walkie-talkie or this little phone, so he can call him whenever he needs him. So they're still kind of like, well, maybe they'll be okay. Maybe somewhere down the line they'll be all right. But yeah, it was a very great story. I loved it. I loved everything about it. We don't get too many great movies like this every now and then, so it was so fun. One of my it is just awesome. I think the thing I'll start first was the characters in this movie. This is probably the best ensemble we've had of like Marvel characters together, like better than the Avengers. I think this is like, I think, top tier. Even though Hulk and Thor aren't in this movie, it's still a great movie. Like you don't really need them. You just it's just a fun action movie start to finish. It's a little slow at first, the very beginning. It's very it's more like talky. It's more I mean there's still action, but it definitely takes a bit to get to where like this like towards mostly the middle part is where it starts really picking up and getting awesome. So it's only for a little bit, but it's still good though. I think you needed that. So I'm very glad that they were able to balance it. The humor in this movie, it was hilarious. Like there's so many good one-liners, so many like action beats that like hit every single time. Like Spider-Man in this movie is okay. He's the best Spider-Man like on film. Like I don't think anyone can top him. I think Andrew Garfield was okay. He's fine. But I think Tom Holland really just gets the nerdy Spider-Man right. There really hasn't been like such a nerdy like a good interpretation like that, and he's definitely. I can't wait for Homecoming because he is my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. I love that guy. Another I think Black Panther, the other new character, he was awesome. I at first I didn't quite know like I really know much about him. I was like, I wonder how he is. Eventually, I got to learn about him, and I was like, okay, this guy's freaking awesome. I want to see this guy's movie. It's like man, he's so cool. Every like scene, he's the more serious guy, and I like that. Like we don't really have much of a serious person in the Marvel universe, like quite like him. So it's really good to have someone like him. He really like sets like a contrast to so many other characters, like Hawkeye or Spider-Man. He's like the opposite of Spider-Man. He's like when Hawkeye says, "Hey, I'm Clint," and he's like, "I don't care." I love that. It was so fun. Like you don't see that very often, but I'm glad they did that. It was so fun. Man, Spider-Man's quips were great. Every moment I was just in awe with Spider-Man. I freaking it was so good. Oh. Sorry. I loved Wanda and the Vision's relationship in this movie. They really it was cute. Even though they're on opposite sides later on, it was kind of cute seeing them early on. Just he's like trying to make food for her, and he can't really eat, but he's still it's cute. Like he's such a dork, but Wanda's clearly they like each other, and I hope we get to see that relationship continue, because I like that, and it's a nice touch from the comics. One other thing. Baron Zemo, the villain of this film, I think they did him right. It's like a lot of other Marvel villains where they're not too big. They have, it's more focused on the heroes, but I think it was good. He's sort of like, you felt kind of sorry for him because of what happened to his family, and you could see that he's not like the greatest villain, but I think it worked, and they could definitely bring him back if they wanted to. It could work. I could see them. But yeah, I love this movie. It was so amazing, and I gotta see it again. Like my girlfriend was just like, she didn't really know much about Civil War, or like she's seen all the Marvel films, but she never really knew about the comics or too much. So it was a very tense movie at times. We didn't know what's gonna happen to Rhodey? What's gonna happen? But it was fun. It's a good movie going experience. So far, this is probably the best movie I've seen all year. I'm definitely gonna go see it again. I definitely recommend this film. You should definitely go check it out. Team Cap, represent. Seriously, it's such a great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. You won't be disappointed. Like, every scene is awesome. It's an awesome movie. Awesome. All right. Well, it's been Forrest Reviews. I'm Forrest, and hope you all have a great, awesome day. Take care.